So Fallout came out, and I think a lot of people were surprised with how good it was. I know some people didn't like it, but by and large, it seems to be getting a lot of praise and just doing pretty well. And I think the industry's kind of trying to work out like why, because we've seen so many adaptations that have just been terrible.
But welcome back, my dualies. So we're going to check out this clip, you guys, that I think perfectly sums up why Fallout is doing better than all of the other shows.
I remember with The Last of Us, the whole thing with the showrunners was telling the actors they couldn't play the games so as to create their own vision of this world. Did you guys have a similar rule from Jonah, Graham, and Geneva heading into production on this?
You know, I actually didn't know that. That's a really interesting fact. They told us maybe that we didn't have to play the games, but we could if we wanted to. Mm-hmm. I did want to play them because I really wanted to get everything I could out of this moment. You know, I wanted to obviously do justice to the source material, but I also knew my character was original, and I had a bit of experience with that with Arcane, like you said, knowing sort of how to draw from the source material and how to also allow yourself the sort of creative freedom to do your own thing. But I found it, if not helpful, then very fun.
So I think that's interesting because we're so used to actors being told not to play the video games or not to read the source material.
Which I think is very weird.
It's really weird. And I like that she's saying that, no, not only did she do it because she knew it would make a better product, which we all know, that's self-evident. Like, if you have more information on the topic, you're going to make a better adaptation. But that it would actually be more rewarding for her because that does dismantle a big part of this narrative that everything surrounding gaming culture or people who care about the source material are somehow toxic or just bad. And I think that, much like Henry Cavill said, it's about passion. And she definitely is exuding that. It's real Henry Cavill vibes.
Not only that, I love how she clarifies that, well, they told me, well, us, that we could play the game if we wanted to clarify that she obviously went out of her way to play the game because she thought it would enhance her character and her experience, and that she knew that her character was original and that she wasn't actually going to see herself in the game, but that she could get the feel of what was going on in the game to make that her character better on screen. And I feel like it's coming down to, like, why would playing the game take away from the experience? Because I don't understand why The Last of Us would be told not to play the game.
And that's what made it so weird with The Last of Us. This idea that somehow Bella Ramsey wouldn't have been able to capture Ellie if she played as Ellie, well, that was just ridiculous.
But no, I think she would have been better if she had actually played the game. And I think this is a perfect example of why Ella Purnell plays Lucy so well and exudes the idea and image of a vault kid, because she actually has an idea of what world she's supposed to be living in and who she's supposed to be portraying. And so being able to enhance that experience on screen explains why she does such an amazing job.
Well, games like The Last of Us and Fallout are all about the aesthetic. That's what I felt like The Last of Us was missing. They didn't nail the aesthetic because they kept going with the flashbacks. I know that Fallout has flashbacks too, but the Fallout flashbacks were to build story critical, like, to the plot.
And it enhanced the story.
Yeah.
Each time you saw a flashback, it was so that you could get more context of what was going on in the present. And it wasn't just so that you could have some time to go in the past and fill time.
I think it's very weird that we've gotten to a point where anytime an actor's interviewed, there are these questions that I interpret at least as trying to frame a very much an us versus them attitude towards fans. This reminds me a lot of that infamous Henry Cavill interview where there's that very loaded question about toxic fandom. And you kind of get the vibe from this. You know, maybe the interviewer's just asking, but the fact that he's asking does seem to imply that he believes that at least there's the argument to be made that it's better if you don't. Or because a lot of people say that The Last of Us was great. And I think she kind of shuts that down.
Well, it definitely was implied that way because that wasn't the only time she was asked about playing the video game. She also was asked at an interview when she was on a carpet, and they were asking her if she felt like it was a waste of time that she played the video game and if it actually helped her in her character.
So they're teeing her up because they want the soundbite of her saying something to the effect of, oh, I didn't play the game because I didn't want to cater to the wrong type of fans.
Or I felt like it would take away from me creating my own best character, which is bullshit.
It also does feel like the Fallout, the narratives getting away from the media, because before it came out, there was a lot of stuff to try and make it a contentious thing. And from what I've seen, dude, everybody likes it. By and large, almost everybody likes it. And it's also dismantling a huge talking point in Hollywood that people can't stand female leads. Well, people love Lucy. Like, I've come across 0 people who said they have any problem with her.
Most people say she's their favorite character and like the best part of Fallout.
And I think that's maybe why they're trying to manufacture some other controversy, because you get the feeling they want that headline of, you know, this actress says something that will offend the gamers.
Or goes against the games. And then I think that also plays into like the fan service, because even before Fallout came out, there was the article about the director saying that he didn't cater to the fans, or he wasn't making fan service when he made Fallout.
If you've seen it, like, it's just not true. There is tons of stuff in there that only deep fans of the games will even recognize. So that must have either been taken out of context, or maybe he meant it in the more honest way of, I didn't put the story behind just trying to drop a bunch of Easter eggs.
Yeah, but I feel like they need to be careful with the wording, because when you say you didn't make fan service, it's automatically a red flag for viewers when they're like, oh, so it's going to be shit.
Well, fans never used to want fan service, except it became, do we get fan service, which we all know is a lesser form of art, or do we get them shitting on the lore, which...
Or a bastardization of what it's supposed to be.
Exactly. It's crazy how much of a common sense statement this is. I think that shows a decided shift in the Hollywood narrative, that some of the brighter actors and actresses coming up are just realizing that those fans that the media loves to demonize are exactly the fans that make things like Fallout viable.
Because of this, Lucy, or Ella Purnell, is getting like a ton of love in the media and everything right now, because she actually cares about the things she's making. And it shows you that when you actually take an interest in the projects that you're working on, people will support you.
Yeah, and it proves that it's never been about the gender. It's never been about anything other than, do you care about the things that the people that are going to see this care about? If you make a Fallout show, do you care about the fact that lots of people have a huge emotional stake in Fallout and want to see a good adaptation? If your attitude is, well, I don't care, or I don't want their expectations to stop me from telling the story I want to tell, that is obviously going to turn off a huge amount of easy to appease people. You also know that Fallout's successful because all the people that had no interest in it before are coming for their pound of flesh.
Yes, because it's so successful, there are now people saying, like, why is Lucy not gay?
And now there are people saying that they really hope that season 2 will just completely upend her story and have her be like a lesbian, I guess.
Yes. And I don't understand why. Like, why can't we just enjoy the show as it is? But these are just our thoughts, you guys. Let us know what you guys think. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, and we'll catch you in the comments.